short week. How have you felt the guys have handled it?
Good. We went about a little over an hour today, about an hour yesterday in helmets. We're week 11, so the physicality piece, we should be ready for that. If not, we're going to have trouble. But no, I think they've been good. Coming off a win makes it easier, but they've handled the short prep great. Coach has done a good job, and we'll be ready to play.
From a just logistics standpoint, how did you start scouting Tulane before Saturday a little bit, or was it just, hey, we got to focus on USF and then turn it?
I did not. Some of our graduate assistants, that they usually break down an opponent a week ahead of time anyways. We may have had some of our coaches look ahead. I don't know. I just can't. I've never been able to do that. So the first time I looked at Tulane was on the plane flying back, watching them play UCF on Saturday, and then we spent the bulk of Sunday as a staff putting our plan together.
Was it maybe good to get a little bit of that gut check first half and then really see how the guys could respond to that going into a couple tough games in the season?
Yeah, I think sometimes it's how you win matters. Now, I'll say this. I thought we played one of our more complete games. I really did. We're up 17-7. We're playing pretty good football. And, I think I said after the game the other day, that 4th and 3 at midfield, I'd already decided we were punting. And instead of punting, I chose to try to see if we could draw them off sides on 4th and 3. And I put our center in a bad situation. So that's on me. We're going to punt the ball there if they don't jump, and we're going to pin them deep. We're playing good defense. I'd like to think it wasn't going to be 17-all at half. And so, like I said, with the exception of that, which is on me, I thought we played pretty well. But that happened. We go in tied. We kind of gave them some momentum and some life. And I thought the third quarter, they responded great. We go out, we get a stop. The offense goes 97 yards. We get another stop. Offense scored. And we kind of put the game away pretty quick. And so, that was good to see us do that and respond like that.
What's the locker room like, when you did, allow them to tie it 17-all? Did any of the guys step up and say anything? Or?
Yeah, they did. I know on defense, Elijah Chapman was pretty vocal, but they were pretty calm. It wasn't like we were out there just playing awful. Look, South Florida's got good players. They played just about everybody close for 2 or 3 quarters this year. We felt like we would have that advantage in the second half. We ran almost 50 plays in the first half offensively, so we felt like we were wearing them down. And, we just had to go out and do most games are going to be tied at halftime, so I didn't sense anything kind of out of the ordinary. They were ready to go out and get a win.
I know you guys have been nicked up, and this might be a dumb question, but you had 2 running backs that are standing out. You got multiple receivers. RJ Maryland kind of coming into his own. Long story short, there's a lot of weapons out there. I guess in terms of this ball distribution, how much of that falls on just, hey, schematics, we're going to try to get this guy open here for this instance, or Tanner kind of reading the thing and finding
both. For the most part, and this week will be no different. You just have your game plan, and you hope the quarterback's reads take him where he needs to go. And at the same time, I think you're not a good coach if you don't try to get your best players the ball. And so, we try to get touches to the guys that matter every week. At the same time, sometimes a defense is going to do things that take away that guy, and now it's this guy. And so you got to give the quarterback the options to go through a progression and get the ball where it needs to go. And fortunately for us, last week was good. Kerley, it was good to have him have a big day. Like you said, Kamar and Levine are running really well. RJ's been very solid all year for production. Dylan Goffney and Jr. and those guys are starting to make plays. So we're now to a point where if, say, Rasheed isn't there or whatever's not there, the next guys are making those plays. And that's, I think we've gotten in a good rhythm. We kind of know who we are. We know what our identity is, and that's why we're playing better.
What is it about Tulane's defense that's made it so successful this year, and just kind of a big jump from, I think, 36, 37 points last year to 19?
Yeah, they're the best against the pass, I believe, in our league. They do a really good job. I think the best thing they do is they don't give up explosive plays. They don't give explosive plays in the pass or the run. They're good against the run. They're great against the pass, and they just limit the explosive. So they're not complicated on defense. They're just good. And what they do it very, very well, and they force you to beat them. They're not going to they're not going to blow a coverage and turn a guy loose. They're not going to be in the wrong gap, and all of a sudden you have a 70-yard touchdown run. They do a really good job of making you earn everything. And, I think even last week, if it's not for Plumlee getting loose on 2 or 3 really long runs early, they played pretty good, and so I think that's why they've been really good.
Have you seen a more confident Jordan Kerley now? Is he 100%, or is he still gutting it out? Or
yeah, I think I don't know if anybody's 100% right now, but he's as healthy as he's been.
Yeah.
Probably since the first game of the year. He got tackled and fell a few times the other day and didn't break and got up, so that was good. And so he's playing with some confidence.
Did you ever mentally close the door on the idea, okay, conference title, it's a complete long shot, or was it, hey, there's always a chance, so, we're going to, or is it just 1 week at a time?
Yeah, I mean, there's always a chance, and there is. I mean, we knew when we lost to both UCF and Cincinnati, losing those tiebreakers isn't good.
Mm-hmm.
But like I think I told you after the game the other day, you really, even though it is coach, you really have no choice but to just literally take it one game at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you start looking ahead and thinking about all that, you could get really excited, really down, whatever, and get distracted. Like you just got to start stacking wins, which we've been able to do. Mm-hmm. And we've now put ourselves in a position that if we can win our last two and see what happens, you never know.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned Elijah was a guy that kind of spoke up a little bit. Just how big is having a veteran like that who's maybe been through a situation like that can kind of say, just relax and get the job done, and then is a guy on the field who
actually goes and does it. Yeah, having those guys like Elijah and DeVere and Jimmy, and I know I'm missing some guys on defense, and then Tanner and Rasheed and some of our linemen and Levine and those guys on offense is big. I mean, like I said, we're only 2 games into November, but we want to be better finishers, and that's something we've really worked hard at, and they know that. And so when they're at halftime of a game that's tied 17-all, to your point, it is a little bit of a gut check just from the simple fact of, can we go out and finish? And we were able to do that, and those guys are the reason we were able to do that.
Defensively, how important has the emergence of Isaiah Smith and Jalen Samuels been?
It's been big. I mean, obviously those guys give you something on the pass rush side of things. And so, when we can get people into third down and we can get that speed on the field, it really helps us get after the passer, not have to blitz as much, which allows us to try to be better in coverage. And I think those guys show you what they got. I mean, it's going to be excited to watch them develop over the next few years. I think they could turn into some real problems for offensive lines.
Do you have any injury updates that you can, or guys that maybe didn't play last week? Or I think Armani didn't play.
Armani was like a game time scratch. He's okay. I would expect him to hopefully be available. I don't think we really lost anybody. We came out of that game probably better than most. Steph Wright will probably be a game time decision, but there's probably more of a chance we'd have him this week than the last several. And then just your usual guys, Rasheed and Levine and all that, they're beat up, but they're going to show up and play, And Justin Osborne didn't play last week much, but that was by our design. He'll be good to go.
Playing a ranked team obviously has, they're a good team, but to beat a ranked team, to have that kind of notch on your belt, does that mean anything? I mean,
it'll mean something perceptually. They're 8-2 and they're a good football team. They went on the road and beat Kansas State and held them to 10 points, and they beat Houston. They're playing good football. Willie does a great job, and to beat a good team on the road is a big deal in conference at the end of the season when it matters. The fact that they're ranked is great, but whether they're ranked or not, we'd like to win. So yeah.